Hello folks, this is Sula speaking. You're listening to another video for Teamfight Tactics. This is some more footage taken from the beginning of set 15. I'm playing in a double up game with Headwinder, and we're actually playing on the very first day of set 15 on the release client. In this game, we're going to be looking at one of the strongest team compositions here on the release build of set 15, quite possibly the strongest of the release, the various team compositions in the release build. That is the combination of Mech and 4 Mentors, which the community has been referring to as Mentor Mech. So we're probably going to use that term here as well. We'll talk a little bit about what Mech is as far as a trait goes. It's one of the big vertical traits in the set. And then unpack a little bit about the Mentor units. 4 Mentor ended up being kind of overtuned. By the time that you see this video, there's a decent chance that it's been nerfed. I would not be surprised if there's like a B patch that addresses this. But as I said, this was played on the first day of the set coming out. And at least in this patch, it was very, very strong. And I was able to put together a decent team composition to showcase it. All right, so as I said, beginning of the set here, off of the initial encounter said that we're going to have a final augment that's going to be prismatic. So we'll deal with that in a little bit. I ended up getting a Darius and a Senna from the initial minion drop. The Darius would have been great back on the beta environment when Darius was like super overtuned, but he got nerfed into trash tier status right before the set came out. So Darius is not really playable in this build of the set. I'm sure he'll get buffed back to overpowered status at some point in the set, but at least in this release version, he was complete garbage. The Senna, though, is interesting, though, because with the Senna being a 3-cost unit, it does open up the opportunity to play Mech a little bit easier. I also found an early Lucian, and I found an early Aatrox, and the 3 of them together are going to put the Mech unit on the board. Mech is a 3/5/7 trait in this set. Okay, our first augment is gold. I'm looking at the different options here. Generally speaking, it's good to take an economic augment for the first one if you can, so I'm going to take Pilfer. Each round, gain a 1-star copy of the first champion you killed last combat. This is essentially an economic augment. Technically, you can fail to kill anything and get no benefit, but usually you'll get at least a couple of gold extra each round because you will presumably kill something on the other person's board and get some additional gold as a result. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to make something out of that. Excuse me. As far as what Headwinder's playing over there, we had thought initially he might try to play a Star Guardians board, which is partly why I was grabbing these Zayas. But in the end, he decided he was going to re-roll for Syndra instead. And I actually had a Syndra in my shop, so I'm going to send that off to him for Syndra 2-star. And he's going to play through Syndra and the Prodigy trait, not play through Vertical Star Guardians in this particular game. I'll drop the Power Snack on Senna because she's like the strongest of the units here. I'm going to take the power up that gives you an execute on enemies that are low health and a chance to drop gold. This is another econ augment, but I think it was still better than the other things that I potentially could have taken here. Now, my board is pretty bad, let's be honest here. I have 3 units and they are all 1-star units. But they do get the Mech in play, so I do get that extra unit, which does help a fair bit. Having the extra unit is more significant at the start of the game. Like, if you both have 3, if you and the other team both have 3 units on the board and the Mech gives you a 4th unit, like, that's more significant than if you both have 9 units on the board and the Mech gives you a 10th unit. Like, it's just a little bit more significant. And oh, look, what's this? Apparently I killed Dr. Mundo as the first unit killed. So that gives me 2 extra gold, which is pretty significant for this early in the game to get that extra 2 gold drop. Anyway, a few more words about Mech. Every single TFT set seems to have one of these traits where you get an additional unit on the board, and that's what Mech is in this set. As you play deeper into the trait, the Mech gets stronger, and for each star level of your Mech units, the Mech also gets stronger. So like if I had a 3-star Aatrox, that would make the Mech stronger. And if I had 7 Mech units, then the Mech would also be stronger. For right now, I have the Mech is like as weak as it can possibly be right now because I have the minimum 3 units and they're all 1-star. So that is not an especially strong Mech unit. And in fact, I'm going to get beaten pretty badly this round because I don't really have anything. I have a 1-star, 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 3 units on the board, not much. But at least I did manage to get up to 11 gold there, so that's a little bit better. There's been one of these traits in almost every single set. The original version of this trait was also Mech back in set 3, but in addition to that, There also has been many versions of this throughout the years in different TFT sets. Things like, I don't know, Cultist, things like Innovator. As I said, there's been a ton of these traits over the various different sets. A lot of them are escaping me at the moment, but Country in the set 10, which just came back for the revival. But basically, you get to play an extra unit. Pretty straightforward. One of the main vertical traits in the set. As far as the cost tiers of the mech units go, there's 7 of these units. Let's see, you have 2 1-cost units. You have the Lucian and the Aatrox. Then there's Gangplank at the 2-cost tier. Senna at the 3-cost tier. 2 4-costs, Jarvan and Karma. And then Yone at the 5-cost tier. So it's 1-1, 2, 3, 4, 4, and then 5. So this is a trait that does do kind of well in the late game because there are 2 4-cost and a 5-cost mech. And, you know, in the late game, you prefer to be playing 4 and 5-cost units if possible. So it's not a reroll trait. It's pretty clearly a trait that you want to push to higher levels and play better units. As far as what's on the board here, I would not mind taking the Yasuo because Yasuo is a mentor unit, and I'm trying to play into 4 mentor units eventually, but that gets snapped up. So I was like, all right, well, okay. I guess that's not going to happen. I will go ahead and take the tier instead. That's going to give me another Senna in the hopes that maybe I can find another Senna and get the Senna 2-star. That would definitely help my build out a lot if I could get the Senna 2-star. But it'll also give me a tier, and that'll allow me to make a decent item here. I can take the tier and combine it with the bow, and then that will go ahead and make Void Staff, which is an item that's kind of overtuned in this particular build. And let's see what I have a rel here. I'm going to go ahead and send that over to Headwinder, and he's going to send me back an Aatrox. So I ended up hitting Aatrox 2-star. All right, so let's go ahead and combine these. I don't need to use the item remover. I'm going to go ahead and combine the tier and the bow, and boom, I've got Void Staff here. Now, what does Void Staff do? This item is intended to be an item that's supposed to be like a debuff of magic resistance for the enemy team. So it's supposed to go on like off carries or like your secondary carry with the intention that like your main magic dealer is going to have a whole bunch of like carry items, and then like your secondary unit will have like the Void Staff, which is a magic resistant shred item. The problem is this item has been overbuffed, and like overbuffed to a great extent. By the way, Headwinder gets here absolutely in the nick of time to help me in this round. This item was really weak after the item redesign that was done towards the end of set 14. It was like really bad. No one built it. So it got buffed and it's overtuned now. This is like classic TFT or Riot design. The item goes from being too weak to being too strong, and that happens like all the time. Anyway, right now the Void Staff gives 35 ability power. It gives 15% attack speed. It gives 2 mana regen per second, which is quite good. And then it also gives it also has that magic resistant shred property that I think it shreds like 30% of the magic resistance of the unit that it hits. So yeah, this item is a little too good. They probably should nerf either the mana regen down to 1 mana regen per second or cut the AP down to like 25. Because right now this is just like way too good of an item and you kind of just want to make this wherever you can. So anyway, I went ahead and made this with the intention that it's going to go on Rise later on. Now here is the issue with this particular item. This is for a unit that deals magic damage. Senna deals physical damage. I'm well aware that she is a physical damage dealer. So this item is not suited to her at all. And in fact, these AP items that I'm building would be much better placed on Lucian. By the way, we have a slap fight here between Garen and Zach, who are both tanks. And oh, we barely lose that round. Okay, well, that's a little bit sad. I would have liked to have won that round, but okay, whatever. Ended up losing that. Anyway, back to the point. This is an item that would be better suited to putting on Lucian because Lucian actually does deal magic damage. Lucian is intended to be the early game carry unit for a mech board. It's like either him or if you hit Gangplank. Gangplank is a 2-cost mech plus duelist, but I have not been seeing Gangplanks in this game. Lucian's intended to be the early game carry on this board, and the idea is he can then you can then take the items that go on Lucian early and potentially move them over to like either Karma later on, or if you're going to play Rise like I'm going to do in this game, into Rise later on. But he's really the one who's intended to hold early AP items. I just have not been seeing the Lucians, and I felt that it was probably better to have this Void Staff on the Senna, even though she's a 1-star and the item doesn't quite suit her, over the Lucian, who is also a 1-star, but is a 1-cost instead of a 3-cost unit. It was a little bit debatable, but in any case, that's what I ended up doing there. I'm also pretty rich here. Yeah, a little bit surprising, partly because my board was such garbage. I ended up having this really weak board, but that meant that I had more econ, and I actually only lost 2 rounds there, as I get a Lucian Send coming over from Headwinder there. I have a lot of pairs, by the way. I have Callista pair, Senna pair, Zac pair, Lucian pair, although I have been selling Zacs for econ, so I could have had 2-star Zac if I wanted to. So my econ is actually looking really good right now, and I have not been punished that badly for playing so greedy because Headwinder's board has been a lot stronger, and he's been helping me out there. Now, the downside is I didn't really get the items that I wanted here. Like, I was trying to make something from these items, but there really wasn't a whole lot that I could make from them. I could do like Gnasher's Tooth, but that item's really underpowered in the current build. Just as Void Staff is like overtuned, Gnasher's Tooth is currently undertuned. So I didn't really want to make that. As I said, I didn't really like the items that I had all that much, as Headwinder once again comes in and bails me out with his Syndra. So I was kind of like, I kind of wish I could get something that made my items a little bit better. And then I was like, oh, Pandora's items. That's great. I'll be happy to take that because I didn't like the items that I had here. I'll go ahead and take that. And then, oh, what's this? I get a set? Yeah, the first unit I killed last round was actually a set. Yeah, believe it or not, I did kill a set first in the last round. So I was like, oh, okay. I'm down for that. So that was 4 gold that Pilfer earned me last round. That's a lot. That's an awful lot. So yeah, I'm level 655 gold on 3-2. The combination of Pilfer plus Senna getting the executes and pulling in a little bit of extra gold, and me having this overall board here has left me in a really good standpoint economically. Now, board strength-wise, I'm still pretty terrible right now. I have all 1-stars except the Aatrox, and he's a 1-cost tank. So this board, not looking so hot. But the potential is there because, as I said, I'm just saving up money here. And I'm actually going to stash the belt and the tier on my bench because I don't want those items to re-roll via Pandora's items. I'm trying to make items out of both of them, but I only have like half of the item that I want. And then, by the way, I forget that I'm stashing them on the bench and sell them. And then I was like, oh, wait. Actually, I wanted that tier to stay. I want to make another item out of this tier. Okay. I actually bought every single unit in the shop that round because I then foolishly sold some of them. Rare for me to have an empty shop like that. But anyway, it's not a big deal. Okay, now we're finally starting to hit some units. I got the 2-star Lucian. I hit a 2-star Callista, but she's just in there as a trait bot. That's going to allow me to make the Archangel Staff. This is going to be a good item on a potential rise. And if you're wondering why do I stuff it on the Lux, it's because I know she's going to get sold soon. I think that what I should have done, though, is I should have popped the items off Senna with the item remover, and then just put these items on Lucian, and then move the power up over to Lucian. I think that would have been definitely better here. I was also thinking about maybe doing an Ionic Spark, but this board does deal a pretty good mixture of physical and magic damage, so it's not purely magic damage, so I didn't think that the Spark was maybe quite as good as it would have needed to be otherwise. And in addition to that, I already made a Void Staff, so I already have MR Shred, so the need to make an Ionic Spark is definitely lower than it would be. I will stash the Cloak on Aatrox because I can use that to make some kind of a tank item, and I'm going to want to make tank items of some kind as this game goes on. So yeah, I mean, my board definitely seems like it's a little bit stronger now. I was able to get I put in the Lux, who actually gave me Sorcerer trait and Soul Fighter trait, but neither one's really doing that much because my carries don't really have those traits in. So not really that significant, but I do seem to have gotten a little bit stronger here overall. I'm actually on a modest win streak, but that's pretty deceptive because Headwinder has come in and helped my board out a couple times. I've basically just been playing super greedy economically, but I have not been punished for it. We still have 92 health, and now I get to reap the benefits of that because I have all this econ, and I'm going to be able to push to level 8 really quickly. So I'm third pick on this carousel. There's a Jarvan on this carousel, and like 3 different people walked past it, but none of them grabbed it, and I was like, yes, please, give me the Jarvan. Jarvan is one of those 2 4-cost mechs. As I said, you've got double 4 costs in this comp, and Jarvan's intended to be the main tank in this team composition. Now remember, I have Pandora's items, so the item I get doesn't particularly matter. It's just going to re-roll into other stuff over time. And by the way, I get another Udyr coming in from Headwinder. So now I can build around the Jarvan, make him my main frontline tank, I also killed a Viego first that round. That's a 3-cost unit, so I'm continuing to get some good pilfer value here. Now, yeah, Headwinder goes to level 7, and now I can just go to level 7 as well. He has hit the 3-star Syndra over there, by the way. He's also not going for Rel 3-star, so I'll sell that. We'll put the Jarvan on the board, and we are set. We are starting to look stronger here. And I'll go ahead and put the GP on the board, sell the Lux, and now I remember, you know what, let's actually move these items over to Lucian. He is now 2-starred, and I'll move the power up over to him as well. I have a couple removers here. I can take this off Senna. Or I guess I can't take it off once the round starts. That makes sense. I'll have to look to do that between the rounds. All right, in addition to that, I do now have Udyr on the board, so I now have Mentor trait in play. And I do want to talk a little bit about how this trait works, because it's kind of a unique trait. It's very similar to the Ninja trait or the Emissary traits from some of the past sets, in the sense that there are exactly 4 units of this trait, and you get the benefits if you play 1 of the units or if you play 4 of the units, but you don't get the benefits if you play 2 or 3. Like, the benefits turn off if you play 2 or 3 of the units, which is kind of an odd way to have that thing function, but it was the case in some of the previous sets. And that would be the case in this one as well. I also need to remember to take that ability. Oh, by the way, I got 8 free rerolls from Headwinder. That was the benefit I ended up taking. I also need to move that power snack off the Senna. Sooner or later, I will remember to do that. And we're also trying to make something for the Lucian. We are going to put one of the snacks on the Jarvan. I think I take the Tankzilla, which is pretty good. Gain health, and then after 15 seconds, stun all enemies. That one's pretty strong. And I believe, do I remember to take the power up off the Senna here? Because Senna definitely should not have it. It should be on the Rise. There we go. Should be on the Lucian. Okay, so I move this over to Lucian. And what do we take? I think I take the Magic Expert, because I have 2 items that give me AP. So that should be a pretty good fit there. All right, enough of that stuff out of the way. Let's go back to the mentor thing. Like I said, you get the benefits for having 1 mentor or 4 mentors. My past self helpfully highlighting the text here. And when you play 1 mentor, you get a team-wide benefit, which is different depending on which one of the mentor units you're playing. I am playing Udyr, and his benefit is a small amount of AD and AP for the team. In this patch, it's 8% attack damage and 8% ability power. So everybody on the team gets that benefit. And yes, my board's starting to get stronger now. Kabako gives damage reduction to the whole team. Yasuo gives attack speed. Rise is attacks give bonus mana. Now, the interesting thing happens is if you play all 4 of those mentors at once. Again, if you play 2 or 3, the benefits turn off and you don't get any of them. But if you play all 4, then the text changes like this. Mentors gain all bonuses, so they get the benefits of all 4 mentors. And they also gain extra abilities. Other allies gain nothing. Yeah, this is a little bit different from the way some of these traits worked in the past. Emissary trait in set 13 was if you played all 4 of the emissaries, then the whole team would get the benefit from all of the units. In this set, the benefits, the rest of the team gets nothing. Only the mentor units get the bonus, but they all upgrade their abilities, so they do additional things. And in this set, or at least in this version of the set that we're playing, the release patch, it is quite overpowered to have all 4 of the mentor units in. They're very, very strong. And I'll try to go through and cover what those abilities do. So obviously I don't have that in yet, but there we go. There's the Rise. Now I will play Rise on the board. This of course turns off mentor trait, and now I'm going to burn through some of these rerolls because I'm trying to hit some of my units here. There's another Jarvan. There's another Senna. Okay, that's pretty good. And Lee Sin is interesting, but I don't think he can quite fit my board. Still, I grab him for the moment, just for potential use elsewhere. Ashe, no. I could pair with Gangplank, but no. Leona, that's going to be good for a Headwinder's board. And I'm not quite seeing as many of these as I'd like. I'm seeing 4 costs, but not the 4 costs that I want. So this does turn off the mentor trait because I have both Udyr and Rise on here at once. So I already have Kabako on my bench. Now I just need to find a Yasuo. He's the 4th mentor. And in fact, he's actually in my store right now. I completely missed him, but I was like, oh, there he is. This is why I probably should put them in the team planner when it's early in the set and I'm still learning what they all do. But I'm going to shuffle this around so I can get the 4 mentor in play. And then I'll look to move some of these items that are currently on Lucian over to Rise, who's going to take over as the main carry in my team composition. But first, we have another augment here. And I've got a couple different options. It's not bronze for life because I'm playing somewhat vertical here. I was like, Water Lotus. Abilities can crit. That sounds pretty good. I probably should have checked that last option there. But yeah, allows my abilities to crit, sure. So now we're going to move out of some of these Executioner units. Like I can drop the Callista. I don't need her anymore. And we still need to get the Kabuko on the board. We have to take something out. And I was like, I guess I'll take the Karma out for right now. Karma can always go back in later on. Now we'll move these items over to Rise. I'm quite happy with these items. These are pretty good Rise items here. And I will look to move my power up over to the Rise as well. I'm going to get an interesting power up here. Ice Bender. Rise starts combat later. His ability now deals additional damage and chills. So Rise is apparently now an Ice Bender. Okay. And then on level up, I'll look to put the Karma in on level 9, and then that'll make the 5 mech, and then that'll be the board that I'm playing. But I have the 4 Mentor in now, so all of the Mentor units gain the bonuses from all of the other Mentor units, and they all upgrade their abilities, so they do extra things. I'll run through them quickly. Kabuko normally Kabuko's ability is he shields and then stuns an enemy. His upgraded Mentor ability is he sends a shockwave towards the farthest enemy and stuns them. So he basically gets a better stun. Udyr's ability is he summons a firestorm that hits the highest health enemy, burns and wounds them. His upgraded ability is he makes 3 attacks that heal Udyr and deal some AoE damage. Yasuo's basic ability is he deals physical damage to the 3 closest enemies. His upgraded one, though, is he blinks to the lowest health enemy, stuns them, and deals physical damage to them. That's reminiscent of his Set 2 ability. Yes, was it Set 2 or Set 3? I believe it was his Set 2 ability when he would dash to whoever had the most items, and boy, that was super annoying. I remember that mechanic. And then finally, Rise, the unit we're playing through in this game. Rise's ability is he deals magic damage to the target. Enemies in a hex around them take additional damage. You can see it's like a little beam of water, or I guess he's an ice bender, so it's like a beam of ice. It kind of moves it around from target to target. It's pretty funny. The upgraded 4 Mentor ability is every half of a second also deal magic damage to a random enemy within 2 hexes of the target and heal an ally for a small amount. So again, all their abilities get upgraded. And in this particular patch, the Mentor abilities are they're just overpowered. The numbers are just set too high. So 4 Mentor is just like too good in this patch. There's not much more to say. It's too good. So everybody is playing 4 Mentor, and this build plays really nicely into the mech because you hit a whole bunch of key trait synergies by playing mech. By playing mech, you pick up Executioner, which is on Rise. It pairs with Senna. You pick up Strategist trait, which is on Jarvan and is also, I believe, on Rise. Do I have that correct? I think that Rise is the one who also has a Strategist trait. You pick up, what else? The Udyr has, Udyr has Duelist trait, and he picks that up with the Gangplank, although I'm not actually playing the Gangplank. And I think there's 1 or 2 others as well. But anyway, you just pick up lots of trait synergies, and it just seems to work pretty well with the mech units. I also did have this Radiant item upgrade that had been sitting on my bench, so I finally used that, and I use it for Radiant Archangels, which is going to be really nice on the Rise. So we'll take the Radiant Archangel here, and Rise is going to scale super hard with these fights. There's good synergy here with the Ice Bender because Rise doesn't even do anything for the first couple seconds of combat anyway. So it just means that by the first time he casts, his Archangels will already have stacked up a few stuff. He's already gotten 80 ability power, and it ticks up, I think, 40 AP every 5 seconds or something like that in the fight. So by the time he actually casts, he's gotten an awful lot of extra ability power from that Archangels. And of course, it gives him more mana regen as well, so he casts a little bit faster. So I'm quite happy with Rise's items. He's looking like he's in pretty good shape here. And then I also was able to get that Yone, so he's going to come and I'm going to play him on my board for 5 mech. I was originally going to play the Gangplank for 5 mech, but I've got Yone, who's the 5-cost mech, and that's even better. So the mechs I'm ultimately going to play, I'm only going to play 5 mech. I'm not going to play the 7 because I can't fit 7 mech and also 4 Mentor on my board at the same time. But the mech units I am playing are going to slot in here super nicely. As I said, I have I'll play the Senna, which I'll play the Senna here for Executioner trait. The Aatrox is giving me both. He's giving me both Juggernaut and Heavyweight traits here. So he's a 1-cost, but he's a really useful 1-cost trait bot here. And then, the Who else do I have on this board? I'm gonna pick up Edgelord when I play the Yone, because Yasuo has Edgelord trait and Yone also has Edgelord trait. Basically, the trait matrix just slots in super nicely when you play the 5 mech units and you also play them with the 4 mentors. So that's why people are playing these together. We are also on a big time win streak. I have won 10 rounds in a row. There goes a Yumi over to Headwinder's board. And now Yone will go on the board as well. And now I need to get items for the Yone. But I am looking pretty strong here. The Jarvan's fully itemized. The Rise is fully itemized. Now I just need to finish 2-starring my board. I'm going to roll here on level 9 and see if I can fill out my board. And yeah, we're going to go from there. Headwinder's got an extra Rise for me if I need one. He has found a Twisted Fate, which he's put a Prodigy Emblem on. Prodigy Emblem TF sounds pretty good. Remember, I have the Water Lotus, which means that all of my units' abilities can critically strike without needing Infinity Edge or Jeweled Gauntlet, so that's pretty nice. I'm going to stash this belt because I'm hoping maybe I can make a Titan's Resolve out of it, and it turns out I can make a Titan's Resolve out of it. So I was like, oh, excellent. That's what I wanted. So we'll put that on Yone, and then there's a sword. This could be Bloodthirster, this could be Edge of Night, this could be Sterix. Any of those would be pretty good on him. There's a Braum, but he won't fit on my board. Unfortunately, this is not a board that plays Bastion trait. The Gwen, if I ever got to level 10, I could play the Gwen, so maybe. I'm just continuing to roll. There's another Jarvan. I already have Jarvan 2-star though, so I don't think I need that. Really looking for more Rises, and then another Karma. There's a Rise, and then some more Yones. I am level 9. It feels kind of wild that I'm already level 9. I was level 950 gold on 5-1, but we've just had so much econ because we've been win streaking. I had that good early econ start. I was able to get some gold from some of my units getting executes. What is it? I had that execute or power up on the Senna earlier. And what was the last thing that I had? I had, the Pilfer. The Pilfer has been giving me quite a bit of gold. Some of these rounds I've been killing like 3 and 4 cost units at the start of the round, and that's worth a fair bit. So now we have the gift round, and then this round I got a Garen, not so great. But I'm going to send the artifact item over to Headwinder, and then, okay, I have a 2-star, what is it? I have a 2-star Rise. I think I'll just go to level 10 and play the Gwen now. Gwen would give me Soul Fighter on who's the Soul Fighter on my board right now? Which unit is the Soul Fighter? I can't remember which one I actually have. Or no, she wouldn't give me Soul Fighter. She'd give me a Sork trait, right? I have 1 Sork on the board, don't I? Who's my Sork unit? Oh, the Karma. It would give me a Sork trait for Karma. That's probably, I mean, that's as good of a trait synergy as I'm going to get. Gwen is pretty overpowered, but there's not really that much need to roll more. The only thing I'd be looking for is 1 more Karma and 1 more Yone. But I figured, I'll just go ahead and look to go to level 10 here. I can probably get there in like 2 or 3 more rounds at the rate that we're going here. So like, why not? Rise is doing just an insane amount of damage. He's got the, like I said, he's got the 4 mentors. He's got a Radiant Archangel staff. He has the Icebender power up. He's just absolutely slicing through these boards, and it's not really close. Rise just did 10,000 damage, and we just cut through that board like it didn't even exist. There's another Yone. Now, again, I could roll for Yone, but Headwinder actually has a Yone he's going to send me. He has another, I'm going to get 2. I took the gift round that was 3 5 costs, and I was hoping to hit Yone, and I did hit Yone. So now I have Yone 2-star as well. And then I'm going to get sent a Gwen from Headwinder. So I have a Gwen 2-star I can put on the board. And again, I can get there. As I said, I can get there in like 2 or 3 more rounds. I'll be level 9 or level 10. But there are 2 teams in the lobby with 1 HP left. I actually considered just playing the Gwen here, but I was like, I'll keep the Karma on the board. Let's do the 5 mech. So I have 2-star Yone right now. In addition to the 2-star Jarvan and the 2-star Rise, I've 2-starred all of my mentor units. The mech is standing there, giving me more high HP. So I'm pretty strong here. Pretty strong here. We're sitting in the lobby on 95 HP, which is kind of nice as well. Headwinder's got the 2-star TF. He has a 2-star Yumi. He's got the 3-star Syndra. Yeah, I mean, we're just kind of ripping our way through this lobby. I mean, he's playing a more unconventional build. I'm playing what is like standard stock meta for this particular release patch. But yeah, that's it. We're gonna win that round effortlessly. And that's it. We win the lobby on 93 HP. So not a squeaker. That one was pretty close, pretty not close in that particular one. But it was a good showcase of how to play this Mentor Mech board, and it was entertaining. I was glad I was able to get this together. A shockingly short game, 28 minutes. The double up games seem to be really short. Not sure what changes they did under the hood, but they are definitely shorter than they used to be. All right, well, anyway, once again, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed this short one. Until next time, hope you're having a great week. Take care, folks. I'll see you again soon.